when you look at the historical backdrop of this club and what it's sort of been on for the last 20 odd years, I feel like it could be a turning point in terms of the way the club is perceived, but also more how it perceives itself, which is, I think, the biggest thing. Because until you do that, irrespective of what else you accomplish, people are always going to say, well, you haven't won anything. And in our game and in life in general, I guess that's the things that matter most when people sort of assess where you're at. I guess that's the hurdle this club has to overcome, because it'll always be there. Until you actually do it, then you're fair game for people to say, well, you've always kind of fluffed it on the big stage. So irrespective of what the opposition say or what anyone else says, what you've got to try and do is break that cycle, and whatever motivation you need to do that, you tap into. So there may be things we do tap into, but as I said before, I think to really to do something as significant as we want to do, I think there's got to be a higher purpose than just shutting people's mouth up. I think that's okay. That'll happen anyway. I think it's more about can you make an impact? Firstly, from a physical standpoint, he's good. I think it was important he got some minutes yesterday. He needed them more for himself psychologically than anything else. And he had a good session today. He was never going to do the whole session because he played yesterday, and he feels good. So we've still got sort of 8 or 9 days to go, and a game on Friday where we can build him up. And great to have him available. Like you said, he's been a big catalyst this year and a big driver of. He understands probably better than most what a trophy would mean for this football club and for him personally, because he's had an unbelievable career here in which he's done just about everything. But the key bit, that silverware that every player craves for, he knows how important it is for the club, but also for how significant it will be for him personally. So the fact that he's back and available is good. As a manager, I guess that's a key to everything you do, just how much belief the people, not just the players and the staff, have around you. Now, when things are going well, that kind of takes care of itself, but fair to say we haven't, sort of had smooth waters this year where there was the opportunity for players to question and sort of maybe lose a bit of faith or belief in kind of what I was doing and what I wanted us to do. But I just never sensed that. I really felt the players, even the most difficult of times, still embrace the fact that, if we continue down this road, we could still achieve something. And irrespective of the circumstances, when you get to such a significant moment, I think there's always, an understanding of both on a personal level, but more importantly as a group, what we've had to overcome to get there. And I think every team's got their own story, and in those kind of moments, it's the emotion of it and how you've overcome the odds to get to where you are really important to recognise for the group, and I guess for myself individually. So I was really proud of the fact that against the backdrop of some real difficulties and some massive challenges, that the group still found a way to get to the final and give us an opportunity of something pretty special. When you're putting teams together, it's a sum of all the parts that make it sort of effective, and when you make so many changes, it invariably becomes disjointed and you're not able to play with the same sort of fluency and rhythm. So, if you look at our sort of back four in Europe, along with Vic, the reason I think that it works so well is that they all complement each other. They all sort of fit the pieces. We've got speed, we've got the power, we've got the technical ability, we've got the calmness we need. So it kind of all fits together, and that's why I think we look so effective. Same sort of with our front three and midfield. So you're kind of always looking. Whereas when you just, you're putting 11 players on the park who are all very good and capable, but there are elements of that go missing where, they don't sort of complement each other when they're out there. So that doesn't allow you to play in the same manner and doesn't allow you to look as fluent. But again, that's the situation we've been in.